Sunday on Backroads. Kick, block, and punch with a martial artist who trained alongside Bruce Lee.
Hello, I'm Doug McConnell, and we've got some great adventures for you along the Bay Area's back roads. Wow, look out there. We'll meet some powerful people who pack quite a punch and carry on the legacy of Kung Fu legend Bruce Lee, right here in the Bay Area.
Go over here, get back here.
Jeez.
In studios and in basements here in the Bay Area, authentic Kung Fu is being taught as it has for centuries.
If you train Wing Chun system Kung Fu, you will become the strongest person in the world. I tell you.
Originated thousands of years ago, Kung Fu is one of the oldest forms of hand-to-hand combat. For generations, it was shrouded in secrecy in China, known only to Kung Fu masters and their students. But one masterful martial artist changed all that, bringing the ancient art of Kung Fu out of the Far East for the world to see. His name was Bruce Lee.
He could be 7 feet from you and get you before you knew what happened.
So in other words, you could be like, I could be standing over here and just kind of standing around. What would happen?
He would just come in like a fencer.
Although Bruce passed away in 1972, his influence on the martial arts world is still undeniable. And some of those who trained alongside him continue to pass along his memory and the art of Kung Fu right here in the Bay Area.
Well, here at the busy intersection of Grant and Bush in San Francisco is the famous gate to Chinatown. And I didn't realize until doing this story that Bruce Lee was actually born here in Chinatown in 1940. Well, he actually grew up in Hong Kong, but his real name was Jun Fan Lee, which translates into Return to San Francisco, which he did as an adult, and his legacy here lives on. Holy moly.
Chris Chan is a Kung Fu master who learned his moves, along with Bruce Lee, as a boy in Hong Kong.
And that's where Bruce Lee and I, when we were a little kid, we were practicing.
Practicing on rooftops in Hong Kong.
Same place.
Chris and Bruce studied martial arts together in the 1950s with a Chinese master named Yip Man, before bringing the art of Kung Fu with them to the Bay Area. Before Bruce moved to L.A. and became a famous film star, Bruce and Chris opened their own Kung Fu schools right here. 40 years later, Chris is still teaching students in San Francisco a Kung Fu technique called Wing Chun in his Sunset District studio.
And also, like this.
Yikes. How do you feel?
Wing Chun is a powerful martial art form that uses direct and quick kicks, blocks, and punches to defeat an opponent.
I don't care even the most powerful man in the world. Their mind is stronger.
Chris teaches his students to find their opponent's weak points on an ancient chart. Then they practice their Kung Fu combinations on wooden dummies, a way of focusing the mind and tensing the body to improve circulation and internal strength.
We're going to squeeze you.
Not yet. No, don't waste your energy yet. That I'm cheating you, right? You waste your energy, right?
Chris demonstrates his internal power by having all of us squeeze him as hard as we can.
Harder. Harder.
You're smiling. You got to be hurting.
Harder.
You're hurting.
Harder. Harder. Harder.
Unbelievable. No problem.
No, nothing.
Chris is proud of his students and proud that he's honoring the memory of his childhood friend, Bruce Lee.
But now, I want to carry his legend, that you can become the strongest man in the world and self-respect and self-masters.
But Chris isn't the only local man carrying on Bruce Lee's legacy.
It's a Bruce Lee museum right in a trunk.
Well, just family items that we had through the years.
Greg Lee isn't related to Bruce, but he grew up around him when Bruce came to live with Greg's family in the East Bay in the 1960s.
So your dad and Bruce were pals.
They were each other's best friends. Unfortunately, when Bruce moved in with us, my mother had just passed away. But fortunately, Bruce was able to take care of us, so we called him Uncle Bruce and Auntie Linda, his wife.
So he really helped to raise you.
Yeah.
Bruce and Greg's father, James Lee, taught Kung Fu in the family basement, a tradition that Greg continues to this very day.
Bury your angles, and if he traps your hand or tries to trap it, wipe it off.
Now a Kung Fu master himself, Greg teaches a small group of dedicated students in his Berkeley basement, the same Kung Fu that Bruce and his father taught some 30 years ago.
Show me how you would do this.
Well, you just do some simple punches with kicks. Maybe you start with a kick here, then you switch and switch and switch. Then you can go to a takedown or an elbow smash. And the most effective is this leg stomp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then scrape, scrape, and then we interact with another person that maybe when I'm on here, all of a sudden you make a move at me, then I have to deal with you, too.
Man.
Because in real life, people do attack from the back.
Continuing to teach and to train in Kung Fu helps Greg keep the memory alive of his father and Bruce Lee.
I could feel their presence, and I learned quite a bit from them, and it's time to pass it on to other people so that it can keep living on.
Although Bruce was only in the Bay Area and in the world for a short time, he left a big impression that can still be felt today in the classes taught by his fellow Kung Fu masters and those who knew him well. For more information about Bruce Lee and Kung Fu classes in the Bay Area, call the Backroads hotline at 415-447-6300 or visit BayAreaBackroads.com or Cron4.com.
Well, that's our show for tonight. We hope you enjoyed it. And remember, you always find the best adventures along the back roads. I'm Doug McConnell. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
We have the self-defense.
Let's go against this guy over here, okay?
I look at him like this. Now, for example, the camera facing to me right now, and he's a very huge guy, big guy, then I attack this vital spot right to the camera.
Bay Area Backroads is a production of Cron 4, the Bay Area's news station.